Safe Light Replace.
KTLA 5 wants to give you a chance to celebrate Pixar Fest at the Disneyland Resort. Watch the KTLA 5 News at 10 p.m. tonight for your chance to win 4 one-day, one-park tickets to Disneyland Park or Disney California Adventure Park. The biggest friendship celebration awaits at the Disneyland Resort.
Keep cat food fresh with this new smart refrigerated wet food feeder, plus dry and water too.
Monday at 5 a.m.
Now in the KTLA Morning News at 9, a 7-year-old boy fighting for his life this morning after a stabbing. Deputies say his own brother attacked him. Details on what happened just ahead.
The head of another local university facing a censure vote over the chancellor's handling of recent protests on campus. Will explain.
And people are being warned, excuse me, to stay out of the water at 2 local beaches this weekend. What you need to know about that coming up.
Speaking of the local beaches, quite a bit of fog still remaining, and the wind's picking up a little bit too. You can see the flags blowing around, but nothing too strong because the palm trees are staying steady all the way across. For this afternoon and all the way through the weekend, weather's going to be steady, very typical, pretty well average temperatures, if not slightly above average. And in most areas, starting out with morning cloud, giving way to clearing skies. Orange County inland, 75, 83 for the Inland Empire, and the high desert, 82 degrees. Frank.
7-year-old boy has been hospitalized after being stabbed by his older brother at his South Whittier home. LA County Sheriff's deputies called to the scene on Ben-Hur Avenue around 10 p.m. last night after a family disturbance call. Officials say the victim's 24-year-old brother was suffering a mental health crisis and stabbed that child multiple times with a knife. The boy was taken to a hospital in critical condition. The brother also suffered injuries during the altercation. Once he's released from medical care, he will be booked by sheriff's deputies on assault with a deadly weapon charge.
UCLA's Academic Senate will meet this afternoon to consider a censure of Chancellor Gene Block. This as members of the faculty call on him to resign for his handling of student encampments and arrests last week. KTLA's Alina Bovian live now in Westwood with the latest for us. Alina, good morning.
Jess, good morning. That's right. Many people very critical of how Chancellor Block handled the protests over the last few weeks. Many people saying that it allowed for an unhealthy precedent by letting things get out of control. Now, we're talking about 800 faculty and staff members. These are the people that are calling now for his resignation. Take a look at this. This is video from yesterday. Many of them marching and rallying here on campus, demanding that Chancellor Block step down from his position. This comes after weeks of protesting on campus, which ultimately led to the police raid on the school's pro-Palestinian encampment last week and violence by counter-protesters that resulted in more than a dozen injuries and more than 130 people arrested. The resolution for Chancellor Block to resign will be going before the Senate's Legislative Assembly. Academic Senate will be holding a Zoom meeting later today between 2 o'clock and 4 to openly discuss this. The Academic Senate members of certified student representatives will only be allowed to be present. The resolutions are similar to those taken up Wednesday by the Academic Senate at USC, which voted to formally censor USC President Carol Folt. The people also calling for Chancellor Block's resignation say they want legal charges and academic penalties against the protesters to be dropped. The petition also calls the university to fully disclose within 30 days all of its investments and divest from all military weapons production companies and supporting systems.
We are horrified by the militarization of campus and the ongoing police occupation. As a labor union founded on the principles of free speech and social justice, we stand in solidarity with our students as they speak out in defense of human rights.
And this is from the Academic Senate putting out a statement regarding Chancellor Block's resignation, saying he failed to ensure the safety of our students and grievously mishandled the events of last week. Now back out here live, Chancellor Block previously stated that he plans to retire in July. His office has not yet released any statements in terms of his resignation. I'm Lena Berman reporting live here on the campus UCLA, KTLA 5 News.
Alina, thank you. USC's graduating class of 2024 celebrated at the LA Memorial Coliseum last night.
still not the same as having like a traditional like main ceremony, but it's better than nothing, I think.
An estimated 18,000 people attended the special graduation celebration. It featured drone shows, fireworks, and the Trojan Marching Band. The event took place after USC canceled its main stage graduation ceremony that was scheduled to happen today.
This kind of gives me an opportunity to just kind of celebrate, like, you know, graduating, the accomplishment that I've had.
I think it's great that USC pulled it together to let us celebrate in a positive, exciting environment.
I agree. I think they did a great job pulling it together. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. It means the world. It pulls together all the 4 years and ties it back to the whole school.
Last night's celebration follows a series of events related to the Israel-Hamas conflict, including protests and arrests on campus. Earlier this week, USC President Carol Folt and Provost Andrew Guzman were censured by the university's academic senate.
If you're planning to head to the beach this weekend, you'll want to avoid a stretch of the LA County coast. 2 beaches have been shut down due to a sewage spill. KTLA's Aaron Myers live in Playa del Rey with the details for us. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, Jess. The closures on both sides of Ballona Creek, about a mile in each direction. And we have seen signs posted here on the beach in Playa del Rey behind me telling people not to swim. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health, they announced this closure yesterday, and it's not known how long it's going to last just yet. Sky 5, though, was overhead earlier this morning. A few people walking on the sand, and right now it's best to avoid that if the sand is wet. Officials say an estimated 14,400 gallons of sewage spilled into Ballona Creek. They say they believe this happened sometime Wednesday and was stopped about midday yesterday. Now, this time they have not said what the cause of the spill was. Public health officials are advising residents and visitors planning to visit Los Angeles County beaches to avoid contact with ocean water and wet sand in the areas affected. We spoke with one resident who said there aren't a lot of signs posted about the closure.
No, I come out here and walk in the morning and run, combination. And it doesn't change my plans. I don't walk in the wet sand because of the toxic spill that I had heard about on the news from you guys. But a lot of times, if you don't see it on the news, you miss it. You don't know because it's not posted. The lifeguard stations don't have, warning flags or do not swim signs up, so you don't know.
The areas affected include Dockweiler State Beach from Ballona Creek to 1 mile south and Venice Beach from Ballona Creek to 1 mile north. The Department of Public Health will conduct water sampling starting today. The closure will remain in effect until Public Health receives 2 sampling results indicating that bacterial levels meet health standards. Information on beach conditions is available 24 hours a day on the county's beach closure hotline, which is 1-800-525-5662. And to view the map of impacted locations, you can also go to Public Health's website. Now back here live, we do have that information on KTLA.com as well. But if you are planning on heading to the beach this weekend for Mother's Day, maybe you should check those conditions beforehand. Reporting live here in Playa del Rey, I'm Aaron Myers. I'll send it back to you both in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you very much for that.
Are we expecting a nice weather weekend, Mark?
Perfect. A little bit overcast at the beaches in the morning. It might take a little longer for the beach weather. You know what, at this point, and it's typical Mother's Day, you're probably better off doing a picnic or something. If you want to do something outdoors, go inland just a touch. Beach weather really starts happening later in the summer. When the water temperature's warmer and also. But hey, it's up to you guys. If you don't mind a little bit of cloud, walking along the beach can always be nice. 59, 3 degrees cooler than yesterday at this time. Humidity, 83%. Winds from the west-southwest at 6 miles per hour. Almanac yesterday, 75. 74 is the average. 99, that was the record set in 1923. And here's the big picture. The offshore flow dominating, but every now and then you get a little possible backlash, and further inland you go, bumping up against foothills of the mountains and into the mountains. You might get a sprinkle, might even be just light drizzle. If you have those automatic windshield wipers, it might be just enough rain to turn them on for a couple of swipes across your windshield, but it's in and out very quickly no matter what we get or don't get. Otherwise, mostly clear skies, good looking temperatures, 75 in Simi Valley. Newhall at 80. Burbank, 74 degrees. Everywhere here in the valley, starting out with clouds, but it clears out pretty quickly by about 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. You should be done with the clouds. Manhattan Beach, 65. Hawthorne, 65. Hollywood, 68. Bell, 71 degrees. Orange County, 67, 67. Santa Ana, 73. Yorba Linda at about 75 degrees. Inland Empire, Corona, 79. 83 in San Bernardino. 94 in Palm Springs, Temecula at 75 degrees. Ventura County inland 72s for 4 days in a row, and then down to 69 degrees on Wednesday night, a big drop off. Here in most areas, Sunday the warmest day, 85 in Santa Clarita. Los Angeles, the warmest day actually on Monday, 76 degrees. And the Inland Empire here, the warmest day, 86 degrees on Mother's Day. Overnight lows starting to warm up too. Look at that, overnight low of 60 degrees. Jessica, back to you.
Mark, thank you. California Flower Mall in downtown LA. Look at Carlos there. Extending hours this weekend for Mother's Day on Sunday. Our Carlos Herrera there this morning. He was speaking to people who traveled near and far to buy the perfect bouquet for mom. Closes at 9 o'clock tonight, then reopens tomorrow morning at 4:30. They'll stay open all the way until 7 o'clock on Sunday night. According to the National Retail Federation, those who celebrate Mother's Day plan to spend just over $250 on gifts and outings for mom.
And we don't have Carlos in this hour because he's prepared.